You are now listening to Mom Brain with Falolity. I am Reah.
I am Indra.
Together, we'll talk openly about parenting, challenges that come with it, personal growth as parents, and finding balance amidst the ups and downs of raising
We're
kids.
gonna bring a lot of value to the table because we're gonna look to things from different perspectives.
We're here to share, learn, and grow together. Welcome back to Mom Brain with Falolity. And as you know, this season we are joined by my beautiful co host, Indra.
Hi, welcome back.
So, we're tired today and but we still wanted to make sure and bring you guys a great conversation and to share our wisdom and experiences and all the things. So today's conversation is going to be probably a little bit of a few things, but our primary focus is on supporting your kids through change. And, Andrea is a mom of a 10-year-old boy, and I am the mom of 25 and 10-year-old boys and 22, 18, and 16-year-old girls. And so between the six of our kids, there's a lot of different personalities, interests, struggles, strengths, weaknesses. There's a lot of experiences. Some of my kids are, and their fathers are not together. Indra and her son's father are divorced as well. And then I also have a kid who does have both parents in the home. So we all have, we have various kind of family dynamics. And that brings, challenges sometimes too, whether it be involving the parental relationships or just involving life in general.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just now listening you and I'm thinking, yes, you have five children, so you probably will be able to share more than it comes to support to children. But I just was reflecting literally now on my journey and how it progressed and how everything is changing. But because I just actually, when we started to communicate and having those coaching sessions on parenting, oh, we're talking to you every single day, like, hours and hours. I would, if we would count how many, I mean, yeah. This is Mom Brain Podcast. This is Mom Brain Podcast when you work 24/7, but you literally work.
Literally.
I'm editing these podcasts. I am recording them. I literally now see through window like my son's friends are coming and they're gonna knock to doors. Yeah, but you remember literally last time we spoken, that's a good point to start. Last time we spoken, I've shared my journey through personal my healing journey. Those couple years it was really difficult because I needed to heal myself. I was focused on myself, on my healing journey, on challenges I had to overcome, and I actually forgot him, as I said, not like forgot him like like I didn't care about him, but I was focused so much on myself because I was so ill mentally, physically, I mean in all ways, because I needed to heal myself. I changed my life and my environments, and I mean I just became, I was struggling a lot. And of course my environment changed. Actually, they fade away, so I left on my, I mean I literally was going through that journey on my own, and he lost his friends too, as I shared. And it was like a couple of years, like was kind of difficult because I was doing my own things, my my professional or personal things, and I didn't have any friends, just a few, a couple, which being relationships very different. I wasn't going out a lot or at all, to be honest. I was only working or doing my personal development programs at home on my own. So he actually didn't have any friends too. And I just literally recently just started to think and understood like this is a problem, honestly. It's not like, because I didn't pay attention. He played PlayStations, he had a phone, he had some weekends with daddy, and he
Yeah.
has a sister. I just literally did it. But yeah, last spring we had some meetings in our school, and we had some feedbacks from the teachers. Like, he has some problems when it comes to communication with other kids or making friends with other children. And we just faced the truth, like there is something wrong. Like he is really not confident in that. He kind of even um doesn't know how to make friends in a nice way as a child, and literally he didn't have any friends. So I've shared with you last time, this DVD been discussed, and guess what? Like he brought for me. Now he's bringing like every day five kids from school into our house. Now
Hmm.
the weather is nice outside, so we are playing outside. We had some sleepover. I had a child, his friend from school, last weekend. He slept, and I mean, he is really playing. He is so happy. He is confident, and I keep telling him, "I'm so proud of you." That's not a
Yeah.
big deal for lots of families, not a big deal for lots of children, but for him, it's really big deal and huge deal.
Yeah.
So, I am accepting those kids like, come on, I'm gonna get pizza. Do you want sweets? Do you want Coke? Like a party, all these friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Your mom is cool. Yeah, but because, I want him to be happy, and I am so happy because my heart is like, she's so happy. Because I see he is happy,
Right.
and that means, and I'm encouraging him, be nice, of course, be polite with your friends, appreciate your friends. uh you know yeah, I am really happy.
Yeah, but and I've experienced that too with one of my kids who she actually is here and can hear me right now. But when our kids are going through a situation where they're kind of isolating or they feel isolated or they don't like
Exactly.
socialize with a lot of kids and stuff, you see it and you see from the outside how it changes them or impacts them, and it can concern you because you want them to have connections with people and you want them to interact and to have positive social experiences and things, and then when they do, it's a really really nice, like it's really heartwarming. I know
mm,
when we moved where we live now, my 18-year-old, she started this new school and she started acquiring a good bit of friends, and it made me so 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 happy to see her interacting and coming home and having people to talk about her interactions with and things like that. It's really comforting as a parent when you see that change in them, for sure.
mm, yeah.
I also want to cover the aspect of support for us as moms because
mm,
and especially you mentioned not really having a lot of friends and not going out and stuff like that. And that's me also. But
mm,
it came from a really big shift I made in my life to focus on my family and my kids and not so much myself. Because I feel like there was a time where I focused more on me and what made me happy because I was in a bad place. And now, you know, I don't really go out. If I'm out, I'm probably out with a kid or I'm at my office or on the occasion out with my husband, but we don't really
mm,
have much free time together. So, you know,
mm.
it's typically if I'm out out of the house, I'm probably with someone I gave birth to.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not missing that out at all. I
Yeah,
mean,
me
I
neither.
don't see any point now to go out for a dinner, for lunch, for a cinema with my son, for a
Mhm.
walk. I mean, there is lots of different ways to go out. because I'm not drinking now, I am not hanging
Right.
out with, like clubbing or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes I really want to dance, or, sometimes we're missing these parties, but in a other way, in a healthier way, so, but I mean, that's for me, it's not at all even a question, or like I even don't think about it, because
Right.
all my, like, yeah, all the focus is on the things we do, on the progress, on creating something. I really appreciate to get up 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It sounds weird, but this is a time that our subconscious mind the most powerful in the morning, like 3 or 4 o'clock when all the world is sleeping, and then you actually can tap into the humanity subconscious also,
Yeah.
and to program for your future or things you want to attract or achieve. So this is my going out. I really
Right.
appreciate that time to go to sleep earlier and get up earlier. Um, so but then things comes to talk about kids not going out. It depends on their age. So because he is
Yeah.
now 10, he can go out with his friends. He no need me
Right.
anymore as long as
Right.
he has friends.
Yeah.
So like now he's going to park because it's really nice weather. So he's gonna spend his evening, and I don't have any guilty feeling or ashamed like I'm, working.
Right.
Because he has a friend, so it's a huge help for me too, because he's socializing, he is communicating, he is acknowledging world. And the other day, I may be talking too much, but I want to just say that the other day, like, because for us, like a parent, like for me and his dad, it's unusual because he's starting to go out with friends, playing. And I said come back 7 o'clock. Last time he forgot his phone, and of course he couldn't. He he was late. We scared. That's normal. But
Yeah.
again, how else he will learn? How else he will acknowledge the world? And so we also have to go through this now. But
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's an adjustment for us naturally. When they start getting older, getting a little more independent, they need us a little bit less to do certain things. And it's an adjustment, but it really is. It can also be a period for us to adjust in a positive way because now, you can kind of go back to focusing on yourself a little bit more in a healthy sense of like, okay, we are putting a little bit more time into our podcasting and our coaching, both of us, and at our, my youngest is 10, your son is 10, and so they're at this age where typically we can kind of let them do a little bit more while we focus on the things that we're a little more passionate about. Or may that be um, work, your career, or your projects, or whatever the case may be. This is kind of a good age to where you can do a little bit more of that and not feel guilty about it because you're not
Mm,
taking that time away from the kid. You're doing
exactly.
these things when he's occupied and doesn't need your attention at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. 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 Totally agree. And yeah, I wish that it would be a little bit different. I mean, 2 years ago or 2.5, 3 years ago, then, that he would have a friends and could go out or do something, but he was literally sitting all the time at home playing PlayStation, and I was doing my things. So, but again, we need to look at the positive things,
Yeah.
not focus on the negative, or this is not even negative, that's life. Sometimes it's happening. The most important thing for us as a parents, because I talk to other moms, other parents, they all feel like this, like kind of that guilty feeling that some not always enough. Even they spend all the time with them, it's not always feeling like something isn't enough, like you didn't give something, or always would like to do more, but
Yeah,
we have to focus more on positive things, and
right.
also to teach them to see positive things too.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
I agree because, how, our perspective on things also can affect theirs, right? So if we are always kind of focused on the negative or what I could or what I should have and all these things, then that, naturally that's going to trickle into them. And
mm,
there has to be, sometimes we go through an adjustment period where we're like, okay, I'm focusing on the positive more and I changed my perspective, but they're not automatically changing because they grew up with that more negative perspective, or you grew
yeah,
up struggling and it takes a while to adjust. And so also it takes kind of consistency, before consistency in our behaviors before we see those behavior changes in our own kids. Because we
mm,
can't just expect them to instantly change when we didn't instantly change ourselves too.
exactly, exactly. So I'm just thinking, also wondered, because so many things change us like over the couple months, but of course, and my life is a little bit changing with some challenges and everything, but also probably, not probably, but I'm sure because you appeared in our life, and this is just like energy when it comes to support. This just doesn't really have to be like direct support, like a plan of you should do this or that or something, like support can be in so many ways. Support can be in attention, in positive vibes and positive energy. Every time I speak to you, on a phone, on a messages, on a voice messages, you are always inspiring me, and that also affects my communication to him, because
Yeah,
every time I
definitely.
face something like, I'm not feeling in well 100% for some reasons, can be many reasons. um, then I talk to you, you inspiring me, you are motivating me, you making me to look to the things from different perspective, and which, I mean, that does help for me
Yeah,
enormously. So, and that energy I share with him, and I literally see that everything is changing. And I do feel that's so important, that we need to have the people around us who really love us and support and uplift no matter what.
yeah,
And it's not about like always um support you if you, I mean, sometimes he can say our opinion in a nice way, maybe yes, maybe you shouldn't do like this, or maybe you should consider or think about that in a different way.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah, but that support and that motivation and that energy, it's making a huge difference, a huge difference in a lot of life. So it's
yeah.
making, yeah.
But
So I
I
really
appreciate that too, because
yeah.
it's difficult sometimes. Sometimes it's difficult and sometimes it makes it a little bit easier when you're going through your own kind of struggles. When we first met, I was struggling with certain things, and you also did that for me in our conversations, and just your positivity and the outlook and perspective that you have on life now. Not to say that I didn't have people in my life before, because I did, but
Mm,
it's really helpful to also kind of feed off that energy, um,
mm,
in
yeah.
both a professional and personal capacity, to have someone around you who they've gone through shit also, but their perspective on life is positive and healthy. And although they're still working,
Mm,
they're still
yeah.
doing the work to stay that way, but it's easier to be
Mm,
when you have that uh um influence.
Positive attitude. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so helpful. It's so important to stay positive no matter what, no matter the challenges. But they can say like this, but the situation comes or things comes in our life or chaos or something, that's uh theoretically it's easy to say, but then it comes to practical, it's not so easy to do and
Right,
to stay that positive person. But
right,
you can learn this also. You can um train yourself. So my situations sometimes can be really challenging, but I try to see the positive things. But to have support is the one of the main most important thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
especially I am a single mother, so that's absolutely, again, if I would have a partner or a boyfriend or a husband, then you can um discuss something. I could have a support, or I could have, some advices, and no, but I'm not saying like that's, I am a victim. No, because I better be on my own and alone than, somebody who, I don't feel like 100% anyways.
right. Yeah,
But as a single mother, and the single mothers, I do believe we face these challenges, and we also face a lot of judgment and a lot of criticize. A lot of people criticizes us. Then it comes to parenting, for example, because that's again a different. Then you have a full family and a husband at home, and the child. Maybe we can do like create a separate topic to talk about this, because I really do see how my son reacts into the male type of people,
yeah,
because I mean, like a boy who really would love, I do understand that, to have a person like a role model he could learn from, or that's important, especially also for girls too. I lived with my stepfather. I loved my dad so much. He was my role model all my life. He's my best friend still now. So, but um yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, it's funny that you mentioned that because my husband has made this point to me before, and when I look at it from his point of view, I'm like, oh, I completely see that. Now, this is not to say that there's anything wrong with men having feminine attributes and vice versa, obviously, but
Mm,
my husband has pointed out to me that when my youngest son is with me, he acts very feminine. He acts very like clingy also, and just like he has three older sisters, right? So he's grown up around a lot of women. But when he's with me, he's softer and more feminine and more kind of clingy. And like when he's with my husband, he acts more masculine, as where
mm,
and he's more independent and all these things. Like, for example, when he's with me, he does this thing with his hands and he's like this. He holds his hands like this. But when he's with my husband, he doesn't. So like just these little, like
mm,
little feminine things that he does around me that he doesn't do around my husband. And, just the more like the cling and like less independent. My son is also very manipulative. So there, just
mm,
just being transparent. He's a very manipulative person. So that is also part of it, but there's that also. I think little boys in general kind of they kind of do that. They kind of are a little softer around females and a
mm,
little more masculine around males. And we put out that energy, right? Like feminine women, we put out feminine energy, and masculine men put out masculine energy. So that in that regard, that's a thing I think that all little boys do. They all are kind of,
mm,
I think they're all kind of possess a little bit more of the traits of who they're around when it comes to masculine and feminine energy. So that to me is it's like it's a normal thing. I don't recall my oldest son doing it. Um, However, with my oldest son, um, I was a single mom for a larger portion of his life. And so there were only a couple of years of his childhood where there was a man in the home. And
Mm.
so, it's just, it wasn't something that I would have observed with him because there wasn't a man in the home for him to take on that attribute when I wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't
Yeah.
the difference around about who he was around. He was mostly around me or my mom or.
Mm.
But I do think it is kind of a normal thing that kids do when it comes to their parents in particular or like grandparents.
Mm. Yeah. All girls or little girls or all women would like to have a that would like that their future or husband or partner would be the same like a dad,
Hmm.
or and boys would like their potential wife to be as a mother, their
Yeah.
mother. I don't know. This is how in my what I used to hear when I was a child.
Yeah.
However, I could tell you that that's definitely right for me,
Yeah.
especially. So I remember, like I always consciously and unconsciously wanted or was comparing my ex uh, boyfriends with my dad, and I wanted them to be like my dad. I mean, to have these values and that, like I was really proud of my dad. I am still proud. I mean, I am so proud of the person he is and how he raised me and the values he gave me and how he is looking at the woman. How, I mean, and these guys was far away, really far away from how I would like to be treated, to be honest. So that's
Yeah.
finally now worked. I mean, not in a way like I wanted. I mean, and I must understand that that it's not
It's
possible.
a really good observation because it's definitely like it's definitely
Because
accurate.
I even then it comes to, I can put in this way, because then it comes to my son and to my view to him about what kind of personality he is and how he is treating me. I am teaching him how to treat his mother and be polite. And if I am asking him to bring me water in the morning, for example, he's like, why should I? Because I am your mother. You must do,
Right.
and you gonna do for your girlfriend and for your wife. You're gonna give her slippers when she comes. You're gonna treat her as an amazing woman. You're gonna say compliments. That works because sometimes he comes. Oh, mommy, you're looking great. I know. Thank you, but thank you for notice. I mean, this
Yeah.
is how I want to be treated like a
Yeah.
woman. So I am teaching him. So that's also a very important thing to reflect on.
Yeah.
Like as a mother, it's also our responsibility to raise a child, to be, if it comes to girls or boys, but if it comes to the boys, so we want them to be gentlemen. Think just like how you wanted to be treated by your husband or
Yeah.
partner. That's all. And I'm always say to him, like, if he is starting to complain or argue with me for something, you might saying, go make your bed. Why should I? Why should you?
Mm.
Because you have to do so, and
Yeah.
because, yeah, then you will have a girlfriend. You're gonna have to pay for her in a restaurant, and because we have a day we was going out, and I said, maybe you would like to buy for me those ice creams. You earned some money.
Mm-hmm.
He was working at his house, and sometimes we giving him money, and he was like, well, why should I? Because I am your mother and you can do so, and then you're gonna have your girlfriend, you're gonna buy her ice creams and nice dinners and nice shoes. He was like, no, 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 I don't buy shoes. You see it now, but you will. Believe in me.
No, but I admire that because I feel like more moms should do that, because
Yeah, exactly.
specifically when both parents aren't in the home, or even if both parents are in the home and it's not a healthy relationship. So if your child doesn't have a healthy relationship in the home to mimic, well, where
Mm,
else are they going to learn
yeah,
how to be healthy, be in a healthy relationship without
exactly.
being taught?
Exactly. No, no, I agree with you. And I mean, I treat myself, I maybe it's like a little bit ego talking, but I think that then it comes to raising child with those values and principles, to be a gentleman and intelligent and polite, and I think I had that because my parents raised me like that, to be intelligent, to be polite, to be and also to know your worth. Then it comes to worthness. I talk a lot because I needed to find, I mean, to do a work in a work of myself, to
Right.
to fully believe in myself and that I am worthy and I am enough and all that stuff. But I really would like him. Of course, I'm also talking to him now that he is worthy, he is enough, he is talented, he is amazing, he is all those amazing things about what we can just think of. He has them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and sometimes the world doesn't tell them that, right? Sometimes, like I said, with my 18-year-old, and I mentioned her because she specifically um has gone through a lot of self-confidence struggles, and that also includes her social interactions,
Mhm.
and it affects their social relationships when their confidence is low. And sometimes life can make them feel in inconfident. Is that the word?
Mhm.
Unconfident. Sometimes life can make them not feel confident, and sometimes they need to get that confidence. They should get it from home. I when I specifically when I noticed, and not just when I noticed, but specifically when I noticed one of my kids is kind of having like a moment where they don't feel super confident, I make sure to just randomly tell them good things about themselves. You can
Mhm.
typically tell when your kid is kind of like their mood might be a little lower or something, they're going through something. I just try to like throw compliments at them, or like, oh, I love that outfit, or, hey, you brushed your teeth today, or, literally anything, because sometimes when they are facing depression and things, and more so in older kids, but when they're struggling with certain things, you know we come into kind of poor hygiene, and we're sleeping a lot, and these different things, and even like, oh, I see you brushing your teeth, good job, or little things that it's like, okay, I really had to work hard to do this, brushing hair, brushing teeth, like, even for my 10-year-old, he struggles with brushing his teeth, and which is a very common ADHD factor. All three of my kids that have ADHD and myself all struggle with the routine teeth brushing. And so when I see him brush his teeth without me telling him, I'm like, oh, okay, I see you brushing your teeth. Good job. Something like that, even if it's not like an appearance compliment. But like I said, the world sometimes doesn't compliment them, and it's important that they get it in the house. Everything kind of starts
Yeah,
in the home.
and
So
plus everything. Yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Our responsibility as a parents, to 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 give them that confidence. I don't know
yeah, yeah,
the correct word. Yes, of course, we are all different personalities, and some people. Let's treat them as a people, not a child. But some people are more confident, since born. Just they bring in that confidence um, within them, and some people, are more shy, and I mean that's like a nothing you can do about that. But then it
Yeah.
comes to, we can, to make them feel confident in a way we're talking, encouraging them. Um, yeah. So
And
I remember that I used to, uh, when I was a child, and I think lots of, like, if you would look back in our, when we were a child, to come back from school and to say that, it wasn't maybe that successful day, and or something, you would be, I would be afraid of being judged by my parents or my mom, or, I don't want him to feel like this. I want him to tell me everything and to feel
right,
confident even if something isn't right. And I also try to work on this, and not to be afraid of telling things, and not to be afraid of being judged, or, because then I am telling him that I can support you if I know I can help you, but no, you will be angry on me. Well, maybe yes, in some ways I will be angry, but you can work on it. I can help you, I can support you, I can explain you if I can, if I understand, your issues or problems. Um, and then, so he used to like to say, like, I'm not good enough, I can't have friends, or I am not, my teacher doesn't like me or something. Well, I'm saying always, no, that's not true, you just think like this.
right.
If you did something wrong, this is another thing. If you did a mistake or something wrong, just think out or reflect about on this, why it's happened, and why you don't have friends, why you can't make friends at school. And we used to have those conversations, because you want to make friends, but not in a nice way. This is not a way you can make friends, so
Right.
he wasn't confident that he can make friends, because he understood, like, to you know to do in a way, like, not in a very nice way, if I can say like this,
Yeah. Like
like doing,
display
like,
bad behaviors to try to
yeah,
get
like that.
friends.
Did I say
Yeah.
something like touch child, if it comes to the girls, like, to say silly words, or to making silly face. This is not a way, like, nobody would like that, but this is how he understood that. The only way he would make, no, the only way he would get attention, maybe from other child, this is how he understood. And he wasn't confident at all. But then he started to work on this, you know I said, it's not like they don't like you, they don't like your behavior, they don't like how you try to show attention to them. This is it.
Yeah.
You are a good boy, you are a smart boy, you are a lovely boy, you're beautiful, you are amazing, you're talented. But you just need to think how you would like to be treated. Would you like
Right.
that they would come to you like this? Yeah, so this is
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's also kind of I feel like that's common in elementary school for boys specifically. I don't feel like I had this experience so much with my girls, but I feel like for boys specifically, elementary school is a place where they do the not so nice things to try to look cool and to try to get people to like them because it makes certain people laugh, and it gets a reaction. And even though it might not be the nice thing to do, it's getting people to laugh and interact with them socially. So I think it's a pretty common thing to do, unfortunately, in elementary school for boys. But
yeah.
I think it's important to just with any bad negative behavior to say, to have an active parent like you and his dad to come in and say, hey, that's not the way make
Mhm.
friends. That those aren't the kind of friends you want. The friends that are encouraging this are not the kind of people you want to hang out with.
So we were working last year, last spring. First of all, also first of all, to understand that your child has these issues, because as a parent they want to ignore, because we don't want to see the issues. We don't want to think that our children have some issues, or we are, their behavior are not correct or positive. um
Right.
but that's also important to face the truth,
Yes. Yes.
to see actually the truth, to take off your pink glasses, if we can say like this, and to really to see the things. Because I remember when then they started to get those feedback notifications and invites from teachers to come to school to talk, because there is some problems with a child.
Yeah.
At home I see him, everything is perfect. The two of us, nobody's coming in, like, I mean, my child is playing PlayStation. I do my own stuff. I can't see any problems, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't see how he's behaving in school. And for me, it was like a shock. I remember, like, but that's really weird, because everything is looks fine with him. How he can be like a different person at school?
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
then I took my those pink glasses off and started to look from perspective, like nobody actually wants to make him bad, or teachers. I have to face truth
Right.
and to see how I can help. Because some parents, they come from the point like, my child is perfect, everything is fine, that's your problem, that's you bad teacher, or that these kids are making,
Yeah.
I mean, then it comes to going to the parenting event, or I mean meeting. It's also very important, which I saw it's working, not to try to stand in teacher side, but to be honest, to stand in your child
Yeah.
side, in a
Yeah.
way, like, we will speak at home. I want to know teacher's opinion, I want to know the situation, I want to listen you too, but I didn't say, like, like some parents, they could say, now everything, you're gonna come back home, you won't have anything, you're gonna be punished. I've tried to keep myself strong, and you know, to kind of let him know that I am supporting him, and I'm standing for him. And then
Yeah.
they come back home, we have a conversation, then they have some punishments if we need to have, depending. But I wanted him to know that I'm on his side no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very much not a person who will blame the school first.
Mhm.
I've actually recently, oddly enough, requested that there be a consequence for an action my son displayed when the school said, "Oh, we're just going to make this a warning." I was like, "No, you can give him a consequence because, like life has consequences. And if we go through never giving our kids consequences, then they turn out to be bad people because they don't believe in accountability." And I think it is very important to also hear what your child has to say, but practice accountability. And accountability doesn't come from blaming the school or the teacher automatically, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It's just, yeah, to find that balance, to
Yes.
stay, I mean, to stay still, stay
And
on
it's
your.
a balance. You can't always blame the kid either because things happen, right? But I see a lot, there's a lot of people who will just automatically go to the school and start yelling. And it's like,
But then
but where's,
again, what you gonna win? Because your child
yeah,
gonna need to single every single day to keep going to the school.
exactly,
And you're gonna
exactly,
make the problems to him, because he will feel unwell. And it's again how teacher, because you can come, you can argue, you can say your truth if you think it's true and go home, but don't forget that your child gonna keep going.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a very positive conversation today. I think how we look at things, how we manage to find a balance and treat children like a people, like a person. Don't think this a children or child. How
Yeah.
you would like to be treated. Same. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and that's all. Yes, they are child. They maybe sometimes you need to speak with them like, like we are saying in Teletubby language, like la la la. But but um to find that balance, to explain them things and to raise them like we would like to be raised. Um,
Yeah, that's a really powerful statement too, though, because a lot of people who came from homes where they didn't feel supported or they
mm,
maybe weren't parented very closely, like I kind of just did whatever I wanted. And I don't raise my kids that way. And so sometimes, you know, it could go either or. Like sometimes we parent like I wish my parents would have been more patient with me, so I'm going to be more patient with my kids. And
mhm.
sometimes we parent, like for instance, for myself, like I'm gonna like am a little bit stricter parent. I enforce rules and boundaries and things like that. And because I wasn't raised very structured, so I raised my kids more structured because I lacked that, so that can kind of speak to everyone on any end of the spectrum. However, you know, sometimes we parent how we were parented, and sometimes that can be unhealthy if we were parented unhealthy. But sometimes it kind of does the opposite. It makes us want to parent the opposite of how we were parented.
Yeah. Mm, love it.
But yeah, I think, you know, parenting how you wish you were parented, especially when you weren't if you weren't parented in a very healthy manner is really important.
I yeah.
Yeah, how would I like and with yelling, like I went through a period where I yelled a lot at one particular kid because for different reasons, right? And so really being mindful and like, okay, you know what? You're really pissing me off, but I'm not going to scream at you. I don't want somebody screaming at me every time I do something wrong or do something they don't like, you know? And I'm an adult and I make mistakes, and I wouldn't want somebody screaming at me all the time. If it's really a mistake, especially, I don't want somebody screaming at me for, you know.
Mm,
So
yeah. Yeah. I just want to be like uh how to express myself now. I want to, yeah, to know him, that he can trust me and that
yeah,
he can ask me anything, and I'm kind of that, because as a parents we separate ourselves, and let's say it's a huge age difference, and like I know that my parents was like that, old style parents, if I can
yeah,
say this. You can go there, you need to come back like by this time, don't do this, it's not safe, it's dangerous, don't
yeah,
don't don't drink, don't smoke. Yeah, of course, that's yes, for
yeah,
sure, 100%.
yeah,
But uh because I mean I lived my life, and I feel so young, and I feel like I do understand him everything, and I want him to know that it doesn't matter that I'm older, but I still understand all these things and everything. And then he's going out with friends, and he left his phone, and he forgot that what to check a time, and he was late. I was a little bit like inside, like worrying, of course, but then I said to myself, how else he will know and will learn and acknowledge the world. But
yeah,
at the same time, when he came back, yeah, I said, you have to next time to be, careful with time, because I don't want to worry. You don't want me to be worried. Yeah.
yeah,
But, but these things will happen, and children still need to know that they understand. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't always effectively communicate with my kids. Um, you know, having my first kid at 14, I had a lot of growing to do emotionally, right? And especially when my older kids were younger, I didn't always effectively communicate, and probably not into my 30s where I
Mm,
started like working on it because once I started college for psychology, I started learning more about our brains and how things operate and, like all these different things that I didn't understand before. Also getting older, so I didn't always effectively communicate, and my parenting wasn't always like open communication. When I was younger, there was a lot of because I said so, or do this even if I don't, the whole like do what I say and not what I do bullshit. Um, I don't really parent that way now because
mm,
I don't really do, I don't think that I do a lot of things to be like, don't do that, even though I do it. Like I curse. I don't even tell them you can't do that because it's bad. Well, I do it. But like, I'm not going out getting drunk. I don't do drugs, whatever the case may be, or even small things to be like, but you can't do that. And if I do, well, you're not emotionally mature enough to do said thing, or cursing for a 10-year-old. Well, because you're 10, you won't use things correctly and you're only going to do it to try to look cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's
mm,
reasons why you can't do certain things. And so if I say, okay, you can't do this, I'm typically going to tell you why. On occasion, I might say, well, just because that's the answer I gave you, and I need you, like respect that. But most of the time, I'm going to give you a reason why you can't do it or shouldn't do it, why it's bad for you, blah, 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 whatever. Most of my kids are older, so I don't have to do a ton of that with them. Um, but even 16 and 18, why should you wear your seatbelt? This is why. Why should you, and also like letting your kids ask you questions is big too because they don't know. And plus teenagers are very initially combative. So, oh, you're just trying to control me. I don't think they've ever said that to me, but I've heard people, like, oh, teenagers think you just want to control them. You just want to tell them what to do, blah, blah, blah. No, look, if I could spend less of my time telling you what to do, I probably would. It's not that I just want to tell you what to do. It's because this actually could have a consequence.
Yeah. I think on that note, we can kind of wrap up the conversation today. As we actually shared from beginning what today is. I mean, then it comes to the filming in the evening in my time, and I was working so much on these projects. I mean, I'm so proud of these projects, but yeah,
But it can be
you
a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I'm seeing like I will do this and it will get easier. No way, Rhea, no way, because it becomes more emails, more people reaching out,
Yeah. Yeah.
more collaborations, more.
Yesterday, I spent probably a good 2 hours. It might have been even more, but I had 11 people that I had to email who a couple of them have already done a first episode, but they all have multiple episodes. So one guy, the Yuri, um, we came up with 6 different topics. So he has 6 episodes to film. Everybody, all 11 people I emailed, with the exception of one, she only has 2 episodes. Everybody had like 3 or 4. So all 11 people, I had to send an email. I had to kind of like, write out a little bit about each topic we're going to record on. And I like all this. And it took for 11 people, it took me about 2 hours to do all this. And I'm
Mm,
like, God, like when I first started doing this, I was not that thorough. And like now, honestly, once I get all this stuff recorded, I have enough episodes for most of 2026. Like at least half of the year I'll already have recorded. So it's crazy. But it's good, because the
Yeah,
more
but
guests, the more exposure, but
one,
like shit,
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
yeah, but
And then
as
reels and everything else.
yeah, I also feel like sometimes I catching myself like I am feeling the same, like just you just said, the 11 people, 2 hours to email back, but me too, like one filming, when editing podcasts, when filming, when having emails, when doing other stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, but I wanted that. I can't complain
Right.
because I was
Right.
manifesting that. I didn't expect how quickly it's gonna come into my life, all these collaborations, all these people.
Yeah.
I mean, tens of people, 20s of people on my list. And as you said, you're fully booked for 2026. So basically, to be honest, my schedule are the same.
Yeah.
I needed to reschedule it today, one lady, and I said I haven't got any available space till November now because uh,
Yeah.
I have to be aware that I have responsibilities to also not just to film. I have responsibilities to produce what I said to produce.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but but this podcast, this mom brain, this is exactly we all mothers, we are parents, we have things, responsibilities, we are working hard, we are showing example to our children,
Yeah.
and also, the purpose is to help, to serve, to support, to let women and mothers that they are not alone, even in difficult times, even that they feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We all
For
in
sure.
same shoes. If we can support each other, all create a nice, amazing network and share our experiences. I just think that, I mean, we had that plan, but we will develop that plan to bring some other mothers onto our podcast. So, we're
Yeah.
gonna have conversations all together. And I think it also will be really nice and cool.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. I feel like it was really beneficial, and we appreciate you listening, and being here every month to support us and to listen and hopefully learn a lot and grow together. And, always, if you guys have any topics or things that you want us to discuss or any questions you have, be sure to leave those in the comments so we can answer those for you or discuss the topics or even bring you on as a guest.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody would like to share your challenges, experiences, please come on our podcast. And, it's also will benefit a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, would be great. Yes, thank you so much, Reah, for today. It was really nice to talk as always. I am treating also this every single time I film any podcast. I am treating it as a sessions, my coaching session. So I had a coaching
Yeah.
session with you today, and I'm really happy. And let's see the progress I will make by the next session.
All right. Perfect. It was nice to see you as always. Thanks for being here, and we will see you again next episode.
Bye.
Say what I want you to say. I know, Mom. I know, Mom. Okay, that was good. Thank you. Visit www.falolity.net to check out our workbooks, autobiography, receive our weekly wrap-ins, monthly blog emails, and much more.